What's up guys, Joey here, Fugatech, and Xiaomi's Mi 90 has been the talk of the office these past few days. But does it have what it takes to prove its dominance over the junior shark of the sea, the OPPO Reno? Well, let's find out in this comparison review. First up, design. Our unit of the Mi 90 is in the glacier blue color, which in my opinion is quite unique in its aesthetic. And it's almost as if this level of premium design is not supposed to be in this price range. The OPPO Reno unit we have is in the ocean green color, which might seem a bit boring when next to the glacier blue Mi 90, but I do prefer the Reno's non-fingerprint magnet frosted glass design over the Mi 90's more gamery aggressive aesthetic. Found on the back are both devices' rear camera modules. Unlike the Mi 90, the Reno has its dual cameras flush underneath the glass. You also get OPPO's O-Dot here to keep the glass in front of the cameras as scratch-free as possible. In front, you get true all-screen displays on both these devices, which can really make consuming media on these displays a definite must. The Mi 90 achieves a true all-screen display by utilizing a pop-up selfie camera that doubles down as an LED notification indicator. The OPPO Reno, on the other hand, also achieves a true all-screen display with the help of a pop-up camera, this time in the shark fin variety. For buttons and ports, both devices' power button can be found on the right side. The Mi 90's volume rocker can be found up here too. Up top, you can find both devices' pop-up selfie camera and noise-cancelling mic for speakerphone. For the Mi 90, the 3.5mm headphone jack can be found here as well. On the left side, you can find the Reno's dual SIM card tray as well as the volume buttons. At the bottom of both devices, you can find a noise-cancelling microphone for regular calls, a single downward-firing speaker, and a USB Type-C port for charging and data. This is also where you can find the Mi 90's dual SIM card tray. I think it's also worth mentioning that you don't get any form of expandable storage via microSD on any of the two. So for design, I think I'm going to be giving it to the OPPO Reno. Its design just feels more refined and well thought out when compared to the Mi 90. Moving on to display. The Mi 90 gets a 6.39-inch AMOLED all-screen display with a resolution of 2340 by 1080, while the Reno gets a 6.4-inch AMOLED screen as well, also at 2340 by 1080 resolution. For display protection, the Mi 90 gets Gorilla Glass 5 protection on board, while the Reno gets Gorilla Glass 6. This translates to the Reno being able to take drops from slightly greater heights compared to the Mi 90. It's worth mentioning though that in terms of scratch resistance, they should be pretty much the same. When it comes to media consumption, you can't go wrong with either of these devices. They both have no obstructions, aka a notch, and being AMOLED panels, you get those really nice deep blacks and vibrant colors. So for display, it's going to be a tie for me here. Watching media on either device is definitely a delight, especially with no obstructions to distract you. It's like having a cool 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio TV in the palm of your hands. Checking out performance now. For hardware, the Mi 90 is equipped with a Snapdragon 730 chipset with an Adreno 618 GPU. The Reno, on the other hand, gets a Snapdragon 710 with an Adreno 616 GPU. The Mi 90 comes in two configurations. That's 6GB of RAM with either 64 or 128GB of internal storage. The Reno, on the other hand, gets 6GB of RAM and 256GB of internal storage. For software, you get Android 9 Pie out of the box, skinned with each manufacturer's skin on top. That's MIUI 10 for the Mi 90 and ColorOS 6 for the Reno. Now, neither of these skins are my personal favorite, but I do prefer MIUI's simplistic, clean interface made for all-screen displays over ColorOS's copy-paste Apple-style icons. I didn't find much of a difference when it comes to day-to-day tasks, but when it comes to gaming, the Mi 90 pretty much has the Reno beat here. I mean, just check out these benchmark scores, especially that 3D Mark score. Now when it comes to battery, the Mi 90 draws power from a 4000 mAh cell that supports 18-watt fast charging. The Reno utilizes a smaller 3765 mAh battery, but you do get 20-watt VOOC flash charge on here, and it can juice up the Reno way quicker. In our standard video loop test, which entails the phone being at 50% brightness, 50% volume, airplane mode turned on, and with headphones plugged in, the Mi 90 yielded 18 hours and 53 minutes, while the Reno got us a whopping 21 hours. When it comes to biometrics, you get optical facial recognition on both devices as well as an optical in-display fingerprint scanner. In terms of unlock speed, for the fingerprint scanner, they're about the same. But if it's facial recognition we're talking about here, the Reno's got the Mi 90 beat because of that extra step of having to swipe up your screen to activate the Mi 90's pop-up camera. But For raw overall performance, I'm giving it to the Mi 90 for its more powerful hardware and overall advantage in the numbers. But for ease of use, the Reno takes the cake here with better battery performance and a faster face unlock. Now checking out the cameras. Starting with the rear, the Mi 90 gets a triple camera setup composed of a 48 megapixel main shooter, an 8 megapixel telephoto, and a 13 megapixel ultrawide. The Reno on the other hand gets a dual camera setup consisting of a 48 megapixel main shooter and a 5 megapixel sensor for depth information. On the front-facing side of things, you get a 20 megapixel selfie shooter for the Mi 90 and a 16 megapixel one for the Reno. In this first shot, we can quickly notice the difference in how each device handles post-processing. The Reno seems to have a stronger contrast and stronger sharpening as well. In this next shot, we can even now see the difference in color reproduction. The Mi 90 seems to favor a more natural look compared to the very processed images coming from the Reno. And here, just look at how much more saturated the Reno's image is compared to the Mi 90's. It's crazy. I mean, in comparison, you might think that the Mi 90's image looks dull, but really, it just gives you more room to work with if you decide to do some editing with the photo afterwards. Over here, it's also worth mentioning that getting really close to a subject and keeping them in focus is extremely easy on both these devices. For portrait mode, the Mi 90 utilizes its telephoto camera while the Reno uses a wide lens when taking portrait shots. And it's pretty clear that the subject background separation on both devices don't do too well, especially in suboptimal lighting conditions. For night mode, here we can see the Mi 90 did a better job overall. The Reno's shot looks very noisy and is overall darker compared to the Mi 90's shot. Lastly, here we have a selfie of AJ, and here is where the Reno for some reason beats the Mi 90. The Reno's image has better noise reduction and overall makes AJ look more flattering in my opinion. But it's worth mentioning that the color reproduction, especially in the skin tones, is more faithful in the Mi 90. Alright, so for cameras, I'm giving it to the Mi 90 for having better images overall. But I do think it's worth mentioning that for the Reno, it's just the post-processing that's holding it back. You still get good sharpness, good contrast, good dynamic range. Let's talk about price. The Xiaomi Mi 90 starts at 15,990 pesos for the 6GB RAM 64GB internal storage configuration and 17,990 pesos for the 128GB storage variant. The Reno, on the other hand, gets a price tag of 26,990 pesos. That's for 6GB of RAM and 256GB of internal storage. Now with that in mind, I think it's clear, crystal clear, who the winner is here. It's the Xiaomi Mi 90. It costs less and you get better cameras, better performance. So, what did you guys think of this comparison between the Xiaomi Mi 90 and the OPPO Reno? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads, and be sure to visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. This has been Joey, and I'll see you guys in the next one.